Okay, so welcome everyone. So my name's Sarah Barber and I'm going to be teaching tonight with Jasmine. So we're going to be doing an overview of the dōTERRA business opportunity. So we'll just briefly introduce ourselves first before moving on to lots of juicy information for you this evening. So I'm going to pass over to Jasmine actually to introduce herself and then we'll dive in.
Okay. Hi everyone. So my name is Jasmine Fletcher. I'm a mum of two and I live in Nelson in New Zealand. I'm a nutritional therapist. So food and natural health are kind of two of my favourite areas of interest, along with essential oils. I've been working with dōTERRA now for over 3 years. I'm into my fourth year of working within dōTERRA. And I'm really passionate about sharing the benefits of these oils because I feel that they offer a genuine solution to people at every stage of their life. And so, I love doing this as a business because I love helping people. And, it also gives you the potential to earn a residual income. So looking at it from a longer term perspective, it's something that really attracted me to this business model. So lovely to be here talking to you about the dōTERRA business.
Lovely, thank you, Jazz. And then me, so you can see my name. We're both nutritional therapists, as you can see, but you certainly don't need to be a nutritional therapist, and you don't even need to work already in health and wellness to do this. It happens that Jasmine and I that's partly how we met. We met through our kids at the time were both going to a Steiner school here in Brighton. But anybody can do this business. You just need to have a passion really for the oils and a desire to help people. I've been working in health and wellness now for about 15 years. I've had a passion in natural things for longer. I've worked as a nutritional therapist for 10. I've been working with the dōTERRA oils for 4. And I'm really, really passionate about introducing them to people so that they can up-level people's lives. And whether that's in, a health capacity or, guiding people in a business capacity to use this lovely model to actually earn an income. I love it all. Both areas bring me joy in equal amounts. So moving on to the content for this evening. So what we're going to be talking about is if you are considering any business opportunity in life, these are not bad things to be looking at. And these are what we're going to take you through this evening. So have a think about what the company is like, who are the owners of the company, and what is the general kind of health of the company. The actual need, so is there a need for what the company are offering? The product itself, so is this something that people are going to want to rebuy? Is it a strong product? The compensation plan, obviously how you can earn money. Is it an attractive, competitive plan? And is there opportunity to earn a decent amount of money from it? The timing, so where is the particular business within, their growth cycle, their growth line? And also what kind of support is available in terms of, team training and education.
Okay, so the company, dōTERRA are the largest essential oil company in the world. They're also the most tested and trusted oils on the market. So dōTERRA are really leading the way in terms of quality, purity, consistency and transparency with their oils and their business practices as well. And as a company, they're quite unique. There's no other company who is going to these lengths. They're also a product-based business. So this means that you can share them really effortlessly, because by using the product, you're building up your knowledge and your experience of it, which which means that you naturally and genuinely want to share, you know, those experiences with other people. 90% of people using dōTERRA are customers, so this is a really important point. dōTERRA are a network marketing company, but they've really managed to reframe the direct selling model, because most MLM companies focus on the business opportunity, and recruitment is very much, you know, this is how you're going to earn your income, basically, is how many people you're bringing into the business, into the company. So by comparison, dōTERRA are really product focused, and it's a really strong product. You know, we often say the product sells itself. So there's a big emphasis on the product, as well as education and really empowering the individual. So they have 1 billion in assets, and they're also debt free with no outside interest or funding. And this is quite rare because it means that the company is really safe and secure. 3 of the founders you can see here over on, they're the founding executives. There are 7 in total. So you've got Emily Wright, Dr. Hill, and David Sterling. And, you know, because this company is privately owned, profit is not put before people. So it means that they don't have to compromise on their choices. They can remain really true to their vision and their integrity, which is something that I find really appealing about this company. And there are over 9 million customers worldwide and growing. I think the last time we did this webinar, there were 8 million, and that wasn't that long ago, was it?
That was November, and I had to update this slide, as you say, so 1 million extra customers since November is pretty good going. Okay, so a little bit on the company, some kind of facts and figures, and don't worry if facts and figures aren't your thing. Some people this is going to be really important to, and others, different parts of what we're going to be talking about tonight will be more appealing. But it's good to know, you know, how quickly they're growing, and also what's happening specifically in Europe and our UK market. So you can see there that the first 9 years dōTERRA were in business, they grew really, really fast. They actually grew faster than Apple, which is phenomenal. And within the market, all markets across the world, Europe is dōTERRA's fastest growing right now. And within that, so within dōTERRA's fastest growing market, UK is actually the 2nd highest country within that market. So, you know, it's a great time because growth is high, and we're in a country that is in, you know, when you look at across the whole of the world, we're you know, up there. Just need to move this little box out of the way. In 2018 and 19, so we've talked about that, Europe is the fastest growing region, and that's continuing this year as well. Now, last month, sales were up 40% on the previous year. So, you know, you might think that the current climate may have negatively affected things. It's actually the complete opposite, guys. You know, what's happening right now, there's a massive demand for wellness and solutions to people's health, to their emotional sort of states. So, and I think these numbers reflect that. There's countries, offices in countries throughout Europe, and the number of countries are expanding. And also in some ways, or actually in, you know, I would say that it's almost better to be starting now, where there is some brand awareness in the UK, than perhaps right at the beginning when no one had heard of dōTERRA, and essential oils were even, like, they were lesser known than they are now. The amount of market share dōTERRA has is phenomenal, and they've got about a quarter of the entire essential oil market, so they're the #1 leader there. And when you look at their growth compared to other direct selling industries and companies as an average, the growth has been 43% in dōTERRA, and other direct selling companies haven't actually been growing. So that just again shows that we're in the right industry and the right market and at the right time.
So the need, you know, despite a huge amount of money being spent globally on healthcare, people are actually living their lives more unwell. There's a huge need for natural solutions to support health. People are not only looking for other options, but they're actually desperate for them. So 73% of the general population look to natural products to improve their health. You know, this is often, I think, reflected in the way that some medications and pharmaceuticals are causing people to become more unwell. And, you know, it's becoming increasingly apparent that some of these things aren't actually addressing the root cause. So, you know, what's important here is that people have effective options that work for the body and not against the body. So 51% of the population have used essential oils. So this means that we have a substantial portion of the population who are already warm to the idea. So, you know, they've used them in the past. You know, essential oils they've been around for millennia. They're nothing new. Only 13% of the general population are familiar with dōTERRA oils. So, you know, there's a lot of potential here. There are a lot of people who are yet to try dōTERRA oils, which we know to be very effective natural solutions for people at all different stages of their life. So, yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
Thanks, Jazz. All right, so now we're going to move on to the product. So most of you will know this. You'll probably have even seen this slide before. Really quick, just for people that don't know this. What are they? They're natural aromatic compounds that come from plants, so the plant constituents. They are extracted in different ways depending on the plant itself. And they have side benefits rather than side effect concerns. So if you're using peppermint oil to clear your nose, at the same time you're going to be calming your nervous system and supporting your digestive health, just as a byproduct of the fact that you're using this oil in another way. So they can really work in a holistic way, and they can really look to identify and get to the root causes of things, because they're looking to rebalance body systems rather than a medication, which is really just a band-aid. It's going to get rid of the symptom probably in the short term, but there's a whole host of other issues that come with that. And not to say that we're against medication, because we're not. And, you know, we appreciate that we have our NHS and all of that saves lives, but this is really about empowering people to use natural solutions in the first instance when it's appropriate to do so. You're on mute, Jazz.
Sorry. So this slide is still focusing on the product itself. Science is leading the way, and dōTERRA are a very science-led company. They are, you know, really focused on clinical trials on the oils, and partnering with universities and research establishments to better understand the complex ways that oils can help support us. So you can see, yeah, down here at the bottom, the logo for Prime Meridian. So this is an initiative of dōTERRA's, and it's Prime Meridian are integrative medical centres. They've opened up quite a few now in the States, and we're due to be to have one open up in the UK as well. And they combine allopathic and complementary holistic medicine, and essential oils are offered alongside conventional medicine. So that's, yeah, it's really an exciting, you know, quite groundbreaking area that, you know, they've set up there, and working alongside working alongside, doctors who are also versed in the oils and can offer those sometimes in place of conventional medicines, or at least alongside them. So this slide illustrates how easily essential oils can penetrate the fatty membrane of the cell. And this is because they're oil-based, and the cell membrane is also oil-based. So it means they have the potential to have an impact on the virus that, a virus that resides within the cell. So over-the-counter medications and pharmaceutical drugs are water-based, they're water-soluble. So they can affect the bacteria on the outside of the cell, so like with antibiotics, but antibiotics can't get to the virus within the cell. So doTERRA essential oils have the potential to, help support us on a cellular level, which is really exciting. And because also, just to say, sorry, Sarah, doTERRA are able to achieve such purity and consistency with their oils. They're able to partner with these universities to undertake the research, to learn more about them. And they're the only essential oil company who is able to do this. And it's because they're so stringent with their testing and with their sourcing.
Great, thank you. So still with the product, the CPTG certified pure therapeutic grade standard that most of you will be familiar with. doTERRA are pioneers in their work and their quality and their oils. They're known as the most tested, most trusted brand in the world, and you won't find purer, and you won't find purer more consistently than you do with doTERRA, because as Jasmine just said, every batch is always the same. It's 100% pure, nothing else in there. They don't accept anything less, and that's why for the first time research institutions are being able to actually test essential oils and their effectiveness for diseases, which is very exciting. It's the first time that this has ever been done. So what we know is that the CPTG grade was created by doTERRA because there's a lack of regulations, a complete lack of regulations in the industry. So anybody can put sunflower oil in this bottle of essential oil and sell it. And there's no one out there that's going to tell doTERRA not to do that, or any company not to do that. So what doTERRA did is they created their own standard. They've put a lot of money into testing. They do more testing than anyone that I know in the market or in the industry. And then they have a third-party independent laboratory to validate that purity. And they make the test results available to the public, so it's fully transparent. You're on mute, Jess.
Sorry, I just did that. Here's my chair's squeaking. Okay. So co-impact sourcing. So we're still on the product. This is really twofold, I guess, because who doTERRA work with and where they are sourcing the plants for their oils from are the two components of this, of the co-impact sourcing model. So I think in summary, doTERRA, they don't build farms, they actually empower farmers. And this is really the focus of what they achieve through their sustainable and ethical farming practices in developing countries. And this is where 2/3 of their the plants for their oils are sourced from. They intentionally look toward developing countries to source the oils. So this is a model that they've created, and it means that they can work with many small-scale farmers and harvesters. So they're improving the lives of lots of individuals, lots of families, and lots of communities as a result. And in addition to this, they, they also look to support communities in terms of providing infrastructure, things like medical centres and schools and water irrigation systems. So, it's a really long-term self-sufficiency model that that benefits everyone. We get these beautiful pure oils, and communities in need get the support that they require. So yeah, it works. It works both ways. It's a really beautiful model.
Okay, so the sourcing, which Jasmine touched on, and also the source to you link there, that link is firstly a beautiful website. If you haven't seen it, you can look into some of the stories around the oils, but also on the bottom of any single oil, essential oil bottles you might have is a serial number. And you can go into sourcetoyou.com, type in your serial number, and this is where you have a little look at the quality reports. No other company in the world make their quality reports available to the general public. So I think, that tells you a lot just in itself. It would be very easy for dōTERRA to source plants from 2 or 3 locations across the world, but the potency of the oil would not be there, and that consistency that Jasmine was talking about, how every batch is always the same. And we want chemistry that is very full. If we have complete chemistry in an oil, then it will be able to do all the things that oil is, reported to do. If we were to grow everything in 2 or 3 locations across the world, there would be components to that oil missing, which means that oil would do less things for us than in theory it should. So this is really crucial for the effectiveness of the oil, but also in reaching and helping people all across the world.
So can doTERRA's oils be replicated? doTERRA have 98% exclusively sourced oils, and I guess this kind of ties into their co-impact sourcing model in terms of the direct relationships that they have with the farmers and the growers around the world. And because of this model and the way that they seek it out to put this in place, and intentionally choosing these locations for the plants to grow, in their optimum kind of environment, it's actually not possible for other companies to replicate what they do.
Absolutely. Did you want me to do this one?
Yeah.
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 So the healing hands, so the last part of the product is the charity work. And I'm just going to touch on this. This is important to some people. Other people, they just want to get on with the rest of the content. dōTERRA are very heart-centered. Everything they do, yes, it's a business, but it's a very clever business model because it's giving back all the time in lots of different ways. And there is a charity, and there's 2 products, the Hope Oil, you can see pictured, also Rose Hand Lotion, where 100% of the sale proceeds, so the price that you pay, goes to this charity. And there are many different projects where dōTERRA partner with independent organisations on the ground to help as many people as possible. And if you would like to learn more about that, you can just Google dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, and you can, there's actually a dedicated website that talks about all of this in a lot of detail.
So the compensation plan, how it works, how you can make money with dōTERRA. So as much as we're really passionate about this product and sharing this product with people, we also need to pay our bills, don't we? We need to build something sustainable and secure for our future. So dōTERRA leads with their product, and I think this is a really important thing to remember. What we're sharing here with people is not only effective, but people want to buy it again and again. Customers order online and their products are delivered directly to them. So we might process the initial order for customers. We don't have to, but generally that tends to be how it works. And, you know, their order is sent directly from a dōTERRA warehouse, depending on where in the world that person is located. So we don't hold stock of oils. You know, the stock that we have is kind of either for our own use or, yeah, you know, we don't have lots and lots of stock. So anyone you introduce to the oils will be connected to you. So it doesn't matter where in the world that person is. If you've made contact with them, then, you know, then that person will become your customer, and you will earn commission from them. And you will also earn commission from anyone they may introduce. So over on the right hand side here is a sort of graphic of the fast start bonus, which is just one of the commissions that dōTERRA pay. And this one, I think when you're starting out, this is kind of the main one. This is the main way that you're earning initially. And it's paid weekly. So, you know, say you're the person in green here, and, you know, basically you're earning 20% on, you know, anyone who you've introduced on their first order. So say, for example, you've introduced someone to the oils and they want to get started with the kit. Well, you're going to earn 20% commission ex VAT on that. And then say that person decides they want to do the business. Well, then anyone that they introduce, you will earn 10%. So in addition to the 20% for the people you directly introduce, you know, anyone underneath you who also introduces customers, you'll earn 10%. And then likewise for anyone that person introduces and decides they want to build, and they start you know, building up their customer base, then you earn 5%. And this is a really lovely structure. And, you know, when you think about this over time, and, you know, the number of different people you're introducing and then they're introducing, this builds up. And it's a recognition of the support that is in place. You know, you're never kind of doing this on your own. Whoever's introduced you to the oils will be supporting you and guiding you to get going and to kind of establish yourself. So, you know, it's a recognition of that, I suppose, is the best way of explaining it.
Okay, so the retention rate, this forms part of understanding that you can earn good money from dōTERRA, because when I first got involved with dōTERRA, I wasn't quite clear what retention was. But really what retention is looking at is how often, once you have introduced somebody to dōTERRA, how often are they going to rebuy the product? And like Jasmine said earlier, dōTERRA 100% is a product-based company. And these numbers clearly reflect that, because you can see here that 68% of people that purchase dōTERRA continue to do so every 1 to 3 months. If you take any other company within the direct selling industry, their average is just 10%. So any other company, the average is 10% that people that have got started will buy again every 1 to 3 months. Okay, and then to take this one step further, 70% of customers will order every 3 months, and 80% of customers will order at least once a year. So really, Jasmine's already said how we don't even need to sell the oils in the first place. We just need to introduce them to people, because, you know, they genuinely sell themselves. People want them. People understand how nice and beautiful they are and how they experience how they work. So once we've introduced them and they've said yes, you're in many ways your job's done, because you know that they're going to buy over and over. And that's where the residual income starts to come from over time. In Europe, these numbers are even higher, because these numbers are based on the American market, and the American market are far further ahead than us, and their growth they're still growing, but not at such a fast rate. So our figures are actually a little bit higher than this.
So this is a slide that is illustrating another commission that we receive, and it's called Uni Level. I mean, you don't need to know too much about this at the moment. Sarah and I are going to be doing a webinar next week on the compensation plan, so we'll dive into this a bit deeper and give you more detail around it. But just to say that, you know, within all network marketing companies, there's a similar commission structure where you're earning a percentage on the customers that you have. So whenever you enroll someone, and whenever you help someone to get started with some oils, you place that customer, and it's almost like a family tree. So you're placing them somewhere where, you know, they're going to get the best support, really, depending on whether they're a customer, whether they're someone who is interested in perhaps sharing the oils, or someone who you know, might want to become a builder, which is something that you don't always know to begin with. So it's not an exact science, but you place those customers, and you're receiving a percentage of commission down 7 levels, you know, whenever that person purchases again. So typically in pretty much all network marketing companies, the percentage you get paid is higher at the top. So where you're seeing 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, it would be flipped. So you're receiving a higher percentage at the top, and you're receiving a lower percentage at the bottom of your organization, where you actually have, over time, the most customers. So what dōTERRA have done is that, you know, they've flipped this, and it makes it a really attractive compensation plan because of that, because, you know, this is something that you know, other network marketing companies don't do. You know, they're giving you the higher percentage at the top of your organization, where you tend to have you know, hardly any people.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, this is the one, just to say, like when Jasmine was talking about the fast start commission, and we were saying that you get 20% on people that you introduce on their first orders, that's for the first 60 days. So if they were to rebuy after getting started, you get 20% for the first 60 days.
Yeah.
And then after that, you move to this percentage. So you still continue to earn from them, but only the 20% for the first 60 days, and then anywhere between 2 and 7%, depending on where you place them after that.
And initially, like, fast start's great, you know, when you're starting out, because you know, it's paid weekly, it's covering your expenses. But actually, uni level is really low, you know, because you've only just started. But over time, uni level becomes quite a big part of your commission. It becomes the biggest part, I'd say, of what you're receiving each month. And uni level, yeah, is the commission that you're receiving monthly, and fast start is the commission you're receiving weekly.
And there's actually 5 different commissions altogether, guys, and we don't talk about all of them tonight. But you know, if tonight's given you enough that you would like to learn more, then, as Jasmine said, next week we're going to just talk about the compensation plan, take you through all 5 commissions. So this is an example of somebody within our team. So you have the ranks there, which to most of you will mean nothing, and that's completely fine. The ranks really just show the different levels that one works through during their, you know, as they're building their business in dōTERRA, and they represent really the number of customers and people that you've introduced to the business, and you know how much business really collectively you're bringing in, and as that increases, obviously so does your money. The ranges can be fairly broad because there's a few different factors that can affect, you know, where you are in that range. So one of them is, you know, if you're somebody that's moved very quickly, you might it might take you a little bit longer to actually get to the far end of the range. Just to give you a sense, so I'll share with you where I'm at, just because you know, it's good to sort of hear from real people that this can actually and does actually work. So I'm currently at the rank of platinum. I'm going to be reaching the rank of diamond later this year, and I think I got to the rank of silver within about 9 months, and I got to gold in just less than 2 years. So, and platinum in just less than 2 years. So the earning levels are very real. Like I earn probably between 4,000 and 5,000 a month when I'm hitting platinum, and the person whose earnings these are, the lady that introduced me to the oils, it's the couple that introduced her to the oils, and these people are very experienced people within dōTERRA. So also anybody watching tonight, if they did decide to get started in the business, it's really good to know that you know, for example, the lady that introduced me to the oils, Emily Mascarenhas, she was the fastest person to this rank of diamond in Europe. And the couples whose figures these are, they were the first couple to this rank of presidential diamond in Europe. So we've got a really experienced and knowledgeable team, which is really important when it comes to you know, the support side.
Okay, so the timing. Europe is on the move. Is the market saturated? Well, the UK market penetration rate is only 0.06%. Only 60 out of 100,000 or 6 out of 10,000 people in the UK have an account. Australia is 1.49%, so it's 149 to every 10,000 people. So Australia are, you know, dōTERRA has been in Australia for longer than it has been in the UK. I think outside of the US, Australia and New Zealand are the next biggest market. Australia, obviously, you know, is the bulk of that. So that's kind of, you know, where we're heading. The penetration rate is still very low in the UK. If we had the same penetration rate as Australia, we would be 50 times bigger in revenue today, 7.5 billion. And if we grow 50% larger than now, still only around 40,000 people in the UK would have an account. So there's lots of room for growth. There's lots of potential here. Between 2015 and 2019, we experienced 350% growth in the UK. And on the first day of the buy one, get one free offers that we had just recently, they did 3.2 million on the first day. So that's, yeah, the highest ever day of sales in Europe. So there's, yeah, we're very much still at the beginning, you know, in terms of the UK market. So there's lots of opportunity to be had.
I love that figure. That makes me so happy seeing that even during, you know, this time.
Yeah.
We've had our highest ever day of sales in
Exactly.
Europe just last month.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, so the support, this is the bit that I'm very passionate about and very proud of. And not everybody that decides to do dōTERRA as a business even has support, because sometimes they may have kind of not necessarily joined through some, you know, a real person that perhaps lives near them or that they know personally. they may have accidentally kind of joined through just a random link that they found online. The support that we have, as I sort of alluded to on a previous slide, is phenomenal. The support comes in many different forms. We have a monthly team Zoom, which is that top right hand picture there. That was just last week, so that was all of us on the team Zoom. And just really take your pick. There is the resources are absolutely phenomenal, and it's really just what platforms are your preference, which people providing the training do you resonate with. We have a builders, so we have this word called builder within dōTERRA, and it really just means somebody that's doing the business. So we have a business WhatsApp group, we have a business Facebook group, we have a Trello resource within that, which has everything in one place. The Zoom calls, which I've already talked about, really, really useful. And once restrictions are lifted, there's regular events around the country and across Europe. So offering training and support, not just to us in the business capacity. So the one there, bottom right, was me delivering some training at a Brighton team event that we did. But also customers, there's piles of stuff for customers as well. So it's a really exciting and fun time, and so much available.
So how do we do the business? So this slide pretty much, just sums up how we do what we do. And, as you can see, it's quite a varied approach. There's a focus on helping people to find a solution to their health need. So, we share oils and invite people to learn more. We always carry oils on us.
Always.
For anyone that we might come across, for ourselves, but also for other people, because, everyone has a health need, everyone has something going on. So, in terms of our kind of warm market, there's our friends and family, and that's where you start, sharing oils with people. And then, once they've had a good experience, then we invite them to learn more. And we might do that in a kind of class setting. And, when you're starting out, obviously, you have the support of the person who has introduced you to teach that class. Or you might do a one-to-one. You might just meet up with someone for a coffee and talk them through the oils and how you use them, your experience, and they might want to get started that way. And then you're basically helping people to get oils into their homes, and beyond that, you're supporting them. So you're offering them a wellness consultation and overview so that they feel confident with the oils that they have. And you're also linking them up with further education. So we do a fantastic program called Oil Camp. And this is a really great way for people to kind of, just build on their knowledge of the oils, and it has a really great community feel about it as well. There's a really great, it's a really good thing. So customers and support, we support business partners as well, potentially, to get going. So that's all, it's all a kind of a system of support and community. Everyone's helping to lift one another. So you're basically preparing, just to kind of recap, preparing, you're inviting, you're presenting, you're enrolling, and you're supporting. And through this process, you'll come across others who will want to do this with you. So so you're not just doing this on your own.
I mean, the majority of people you find to do the business with you tends just to be the one, people just expressing an interest as you go through those other activities. And then, as I said at the beginning, you know, Jasmine and I, we do these types of webinars only once or twice a year, just as a kind of an additional, I guess, on an additional platform, just to kind of attract people that perhaps, you know, like this particular format or just want a little more information. But actually, you find the people as you kind of go through the teaching. So if you're wanting to get started, or if you're curious to know how much does it cost to get started with dōTERRA, the answer is, for the majority of the people on here tonight, nothing, because you've already got your oils. I know most of you are customers already, you already got started with that kit of core 10 oils. So the Home Essential kit is probably the one I would recommend as the minimum. There are larger kits, and with each step up you get more discounts and more kind of product credit and some other benefits. So the kits go all the way up to a kit called the Every Oil Kit. So yeah, look into those, or contact the person that invited you if you're not yet started. Other things you need some fractionated coconut oil, which looks like this. So the coconut oil is for if you're wanting to you know, share oils with people, and you'll need to give them something if they're going to need to be diluting it. You'll need a book, so we recommend the Modern Essentials book. I would actually recommend the Modern Essentials app, which is $3.99, plus the Advanced Oil Magic book. It's quite nice to have the app and the book, I would say. You'll need some of these tiny weeny little bottles. We call these sample bottles or vials. The 1 ml ones are the best, I would say. You can get those from essentialoilsupplies.co.uk. So you can see that you can start this business for a really small investment. Just to say, you know, every business costs something to get started, right, and continue. And actually dōTERRA, for the amount of money that, you know, there is the potential to earn, the ongoing costs and the initial costs are tiny. The ongoing cost there on the other side is what we call a monthly spend. And there is something within dōTERRA that's available to customers as well, called the Loyalty Rewards Program. And this stands for, we use the term LRP for short, for the Loyalty Rewards Program. So as a customer, they can choose to do a monthly order. And when any of us do a monthly order, the perk is that we're getting a percentage back each month on what we spend. So we're getting 10% back to start with if the order is over about £38, which is 50 PV, which is product value or points value. So, and then over time that builds up to a maximum of 30% back. So each month we're doing this spend, eventually we're getting 30% back on each order. So as somebody doing the business, you're required to be spending 100 PV every month. And this is how the computer system recognizes you as someone that's doing the business and will pay you any commission that's due. But also, guys, this is like your only kind of main business investment, your business cost. And to do this business well, it needs to come from a place of using the products, knowing the products, living the products, loving them, because only from that place can you share authentically. And if you're doing that, and if you're making up these little guys to share with people, because this is where it has to start, you're going to easily be spending that amount anyway, just on you know, replacing products and buying them for yourself and your family, but also so you can share the oil samples, as we call them, with prospective customers. And then the other kind of requirements, really, if you're going to do this business well and be successful at it, you do need to participate in some kind of training. Which one and what format is entirely up to you, and attend some of the team events. And yeah, we've talked about the personal use and living the product to be able to share it authentically.
Okay, so should we just choose one from each
Yeah, shall we? Yeah.
So Georgie, these are testimonials from people within our kind of wider tribe. So Georgie's saying, for me, it was the company ethics and having the internal use completely down as safe, so I could confidently suggest internal use for others. Think that was the only thing that initially made me research more. I'm most impressed by the family feel of dōTERRA. Teamwork and amazing upline. Really do feel like I found kindred spirits.
Okay, and then we've got Katie Jo. So she says, I've been using essential oils for years in my practice with another company. Unfortunately, my trust was broken recently and I had to take a decision to lose some business and change brand. I'm so pleased I did. Although I have to build a completely new downline, the dōTERRA product support has been so brilliant that I wish I'd done this years ago.
So Charlie's saying, the power of the oils, the desire to share them with others, and the peace of mind of building an additional income stream on my terms. I love being a photographer, but if I break my arm, then what? Preparing for impact in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think this is really relevant right now because in this current climate, I think a lot of people are starting to consider, you know, how can we be better prepared and how can we strengthen our finances should we find ourselves in a position again in the future where we're unable to work because perhaps we can't leave our homes, or you know, something else goes on that's external to us that we have no control over. So yeah, creating something, even if it's alongside what you're already doing, it could be, you know, a whole new business venture, but I think it makes a lot of sense that to have something that's over time can be residual and an additional revenue stream just feels like a really sensible thing right now. So Laura, the icing on the cake was the opportunity to create residual income. I've always been appalled that as a woman, we generally have to pause our careers to have children, and I've witnessed how disempowering it can be. With dōTERRA, this opportunity allows us to embrace this time, and I feel so grateful to be able to help to empower other women this way. So this really just speaks to how, you know, this business can really be something that you can fit in around your life, and it can, you know, you can be your own boss. You're not answering to anybody. You can work when you want. I mean, personally for me, I found during, again, this time, I've managed to work this business. This is my main source of income around my children. I'm homeschooling. I'm not actually working that much less, but I choose when I work. I might work for an hour in the morning, an hour at lunchtime, and a few hours in the evening, and I'm still kind of, the work is flexible. So a lot of people are really attracted to that, especially women, but actually it can work for everybody.
So what's next? Depending on where you are on your dōTERRA journey, reconnect with the person who is guiding you in dōTERRA. Get your wholesale account and kit of oils if you haven't already. And if you're ready to get started, we've got an online launch camp, which is a 5-week webinar series designed to support you with everything you need to know. So that's, yeah, that's a fantastic series of webinars actually. And, you know, it really guides you through every single stage of doing this business. And then also a reminder to set up loyalty reward templates for 100 PV or more. And having 100 PV or more LRP template is the way that the system, commissions system, recognises you as someone who is doing the business. So, you know, when you start to introduce people to the oils and set them up with your own account, then, you know, everyone who is doing a 100 PV minimum LRP template, you know, automatically receives their commission when the commissions run.
Okay, and then to finish, are you ready for financial freedom? So this just kind of summarizes the residual income model. and it tells the story of a man who hauled buckets for a living, buckets of water, and every day he hauled water from the nearest source to his village miles away. And if he wanted to make more money, he would simply work longer, hauling more buckets. So this is really the model of, we can only, our earnings are capped all the time that we're exchanging time for money. And then after many years, he grew weary of hauling buckets. So he started to think there must be a better way. There must be a way that I can create something that brings in more, initially for, hard work, but over time to reap the benefits. So this is where the inspiration came. If he used his spare time to build a pipeline, eventually he could be free from hauling buckets. So to start with, he was doing the pipeline alongside his regular job of hauling water, and he laboured diligently for a few years to build his pipeline. So over time, he did these two things in parallel. He was building one whilst his kind of day job was supporting him through that process. And then the day he turned on the tap, everything changed. He successfully created an unlimited supply of water and improved lifestyle for the villagers and himself, resulting in an abundant financial pipeline. And at this point he realized that his earnings were limitless. They were only capped by the amount of water that he could produce, which was free flowing, and he was able to stop hauling his buckets if he so wished. So we hope you've enjoyed this webinar this evening, guys. I'm just going to stop the recording. So thank you everybody that has been watching this recording.